Claire never thought of herself as someone who worried too much about other people's behavior. She trusted easily, maybe too easily, according to her mother. But when it came to her husband, Daniel, and her best friend, Lila, she had never once felt the need to question anything, until that spring. It started subtly. At first, it was little things. Lila would show up at their house and seem jittery. She would fidget with her phone, avoid making eye contact with Daniel, and keep her answers short when he asked her anything. Claire noticed it one Saturday when they were all in the living room, sipping coffee. Lila's knee was bouncing so fast it could have powered a small windmill. Daniel, being Daniel, tried to lighten the mood. "Everything okay, Lila? You look like you just remembered you left the oven on." Lila laughed, but it was awkward, like she had to remind herself what laughter was. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just a little tired." Claire didn't say anything at the time, but her curiosity lit up. Lila was many things: loud, open, endlessly talkative, but fidgety wasn't one of them. And now, around Daniel, she seemed to shrink into herself. The second incident happened a week later. Claire came home early from work and found Lila in the kitchen with Daniel. They weren't doing anything suspicious, but the moment Claire walked in, Lila looked startled. Too startled. Like someone caught in the middle of a confession. "Hey, you're home early," Daniel said cheerfully, completely oblivious to the tension. "We were just talking about nothing," Lila interrupted quickly, her voice a little too high. "Anyway, I should go." And she left, leaving behind a swirl of awkwardness in the kitchen. Claire's mind went into overdrive. She didn't want to be the kind of person who jumped to conclusions, but now she was noticing patterns. The short visits, the nervous laughter, the quick goodbyes. And always, it was when Daniel was around. That night, she sat on the couch, sipping tea, and tried to sort through her thoughts. She trusted Daniel. She loved him. They had been together for 7 years, and he had never given her a reason to doubt him. But the way Lila acted, something was off. The final straw came 2 weeks later at the grocery store. Claire was picking up milk when she saw Lila in the next aisle. She was on the phone, speaking in a hushed tone. Claire wasn't one to eavesdrop, but her name caught her attention. "Yes, I know, but Claire doesn't know yet," Lila said, her voice urgent. "I'm trying to figure out the best way to tell her." "No, I'm not sure how Daniel will react either." Claire's hand froze on the milk carton. She quickly ducked back behind the shelf, her mind spinning. What could Lila possibly need to tell her that also involved Daniel? And why keep it from her? When she got home, she was quiet. Daniel noticed immediately. "You okay? You're usually humming after grocery shopping." Claire gave a small smile. "Just tired." That night, she couldn't sleep. She kept replaying Lila's words over and over. By morning, she decided she needed answers. No more wondering. No more guessing. She called Lila and asked her to come over. When Lila arrived, she looked wary. Her eyes darted around the room as if she were checking for someone. "Lila," Claire began, her voice calm but firm, "I need to ask you something. And I want you to tell me the truth. Have I done something to upset you? Or is something going on between you and Daniel?" Lila's eyes widened in shock.
"What? No."
"Claire, absolutely not." She shook her head so fast her earring swung. "It's nothing like that." But she bit her lip and glanced toward the window. "I was hoping I could tell you in my own time." Claire folded her arms. Now would be a good time. Lila took a deep breath.
"Okay."
"But you have to promise you won't freak out." "I promise." "It's about Daniel," Lila said slowly. "But not in the way you think. He's been helping me with something personal." Claire frowned. "Helping you? With what?" Lila looked down at her hands. "A few months ago, I found a lump in my breast. I didn't want to scare you, so I didn't say anything at first. I went to the doctor, and I needed someone to talk to. Daniel was the only person I could bring myself to tell." Claire felt the breath leave her body. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I wanted to," Lila said, her voice breaking. "But I knew you'd worry yourself sick. I thought Maybe if I could get through the tests first, I could come to you with answers, not fears. Daniel's been driving me to some of the appointments when you're at work. He's been helping me stay calm. Claire's throat tightened. All that suspicion, all those sleepless nights, and this was the truth? She reached over and grabbed Lila's hand. Oh, Lila. I wish you'd told me sooner. I know, Lila whispered. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to push you away. I just didn't want to burden you until I knew more. Claire stood and hugged her tightly. You're never a burden. And I'm here for you always. When Daniel came home that evening, Claire pulled him into the living room. I know everything, she said softly. Daniel looked alarmed at first, then relieved. I told her we should tell you sooner, he said to Lila. The three of them sat together and Lila shared everything, the tests, the fears, the long waits for results. Thankfully, the lump turned out to be benign, but the experience had shaken her deeply. From that day on, there were no more secrets. Claire realized how easily misunderstandings could grow when communication faltered. She had almost let doubt creep into her marriage and her oldest friendship. Instead, she walked away with something stronger, a deeper trust, a renewed bond, and the knowledge that sometimes people act strange not because they're hiding betrayal, but because they're carrying a burden too heavy to share until the right moment. And in that moment, Claire promised herself she would always choose asking over assuming.